Okay, so yesterday or 2 days ago, I think it would be 2 days ago for y'all. But basically, I dropped a video where I reacted to basically Zach D Films, but a Roblox version. And a lot of you guys in the comments did like the video. However, a lot of you guys also told me to react to another person named His Story. Now, the thing is, I don't know. I don't really watch videos like Zach D Film often. However, I do know of Zach D Films. His Story, apparently, you guys told me that his videos are better. Huh? You know what I'm saying? Is it better than the person who started this whole like type of trend or something? I don't know. All I know is that in today's video, we are going to be reacting to him because you guys wanted me to. So if you're new here, leave a like and subscribe to join the Supreme Team. And you know what? Let's just give it a shot. Let's see. Now, the thing is, I'm looking at his channel and he has orange hair, one green eye, and one blue eye. Okay, that's a little interesting. Wait, what the heck? Wait, is he a shorts creator or a YouTuber? Like, not saying shorts creators aren't YouTubers, because obviously they are, but like, wait, what the heck is this? Wait, what? I took down a cartel? I took revenge on Chester? I was taken hostage by a crime boss? What? Okay, you know what? Hold on. Let me see his shorts. Hey, how many shorts a day is he posting? What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 shorts a day? I'm assuming it's 10 shorts a day, to be honest. 10 shorts a day? Who is bro feeling like? All right, we gotta watch it. Wait, let me see his oldest one. How long ago was it? 5 months. He's only been doing this for like 5 months. Are you serious? He's only been on YouTube for 5 months and he's already hitting like this? Congrats, bro. What the heck? Okay. Wait, let me see this oldest one, then we're gonna see his most popular one, and then we're gonna look at his latest ones. Let's see.
A teenager tortured my dog for fun, then threatened to do it again. My dog had gone missing for a few hours, and when I finally found him, he was standing outside another house in my neighborhood. He was covered in bruises, his eye was swollen shut, and blood was still dripping down his side. The teenager walked out and didn't apologize. He just told me to keep my dog on a leash, or he'd do it again. I rushed him to the vet, but he was too far gone. I had to put him down just to spare him the suffering. That dog was the only memory I had left of my late wife, Helen. So I called in a few favors and found out everything about this kid, his school, his job, his girlfriend. He was enrolled at a Catholic private school, and when I told them what he did, they expelled him within the week. His girlfriend was vegan and an animal lover, so convincing her to break up with him was easy. I sprinkled in a few lies, and she destroyed his car for revenge. Then my friends and I posed as customers at his job and filed complaints until his manager fired him on the spot.
Dog, what is all of it? What the heck? This is a crazy first video.
But his life was gone within days, and as he was walking home after getting fired, I ran him over with my truck.
What the heck? Over a dog? Look, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people have emotional attachments to dogs. Your dog was off of the leash, though. My guy. Hold on, let me see the comments. Okay, you came here to check out bro's first video. Yo. Okay, leave me alone. Bro went full John Wick on that kid. I'm proud, especially for that truck. Yo, what? I ran him over. Yo, all right. Let's go see. Now, let's see his most popular video 2 months ago. Okay, let's see this.
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we learned Morse code. We tapped messages under the dinner table when mom told us to stop talking and tapped through the wall between our bedrooms every night. When Chris got into a car accident and the doctor said he'd never wake up, I pulled up a chair next to his bed, took his hand, and tapped. Are you there? Nothing. But I came back the next afternoon and tapped again. Before I left, I always said the same thing. See you tomorrow, Chris. A week later, Chris's fingers twitched against mine, and I almost fell out of my chair. I grabbed a nurse and she barely looked up. They're reflexes. It doesn't mean anything. I bought a notebook the next day and started writing down every single one. 4 months in, mom watched me scribbling and said, "How long are you gonna keep doing this? Until he taps back." He's not gonna tap back. You're talking to a corpse. Dad lasted a few more months before he pulled me into the hallway. We need to talk about donating your brother's organs. His fingers move every time I hold his hand, Dad. The nurses said those are reflexes. Stop getting your hopes up, son. I don't care what the nurses say. You're not donating my brother's organs. But a week later, my parents called to have Chris transferred to a long-term facility to die and scheduled a meeting to sign the papers. The afternoon before the meeting, I tapped into his palm like always, but this time, something tapped back. Short, long, short, SOS. I grabbed his hand. Chris, if that's you, squeeze once. He squeezed so hard my knuckles cracked. I stormed into the meeting room and told them my brother just
Is this real? Is this a real story? Is this real? This story may be based on real events. Oh my gosh.
Responded to me. The caseworker said, "This is very common with families who who aren't ready to let go. My parents nodded. I grabbed the transfer papers off the table. You're not signing anything until you come see for yourself. I walked them to Chris's bed and grabbed his hand. Ask him anything. The caseworker asked what year it was. Chris squeezed out the answer. Count to 5. 5 perfect squeezes. His mother's name, tapped out letter by letter. By the 10th question, she said, he's still alive. We can't move him. Weeks later, I asked Chris what kept him fighting when everyone gave up. Heard mom call me a corpse. Heard dad say donate my organs. Heard all of them leave, except you. I asked why. I wanted to see you too. My twin brother Chris and I were—
Yo, bro. What the heck? I'm not gonna lie. Yo, bro, you hold on. Let me watch more. Let me watch more. Cause wait, why is this stuff actually like, I'm not gonna lie, it's low-key peak. It's low-key kind of peak. Hold on. All right, let me see his most recent one. Let's see.
I handed my son a ball of garbage on his 9th birthday. I couldn't afford a football, but I spent all night making this for you. He started dribbling it around our poor African village. I love it, Baba. One day I'll be a famous footballer in the World Cup, and I'm going to be so rich I'll buy you whatever you want. I didn't know what to say because I didn't think that could ever come true. But a week later, a volunteer from a charity truck dropped off food and clothes, and he stopped to watch my son juggle that garbage ball 50 times without a drop. Where did he learn that? He asked. I told him he taught himself, and he laughed and yelled, if he keeps that up, I'll see him at the World Cup. My boy's whole face lit up with a smile. It's meant to be, Baba. I'm meant to be a football star. The volunteer climbed into the supply truck and came back out with real football shoes and a real football. For the next 2 years, he'd kick the football while every kid in the neighborhood watched and cheered. But everything changed when a football academy was running trials in the city. I sold our goat for 2 bus tickets there. My son lined up beside boys in clean kits.
Okay, wait, is this a real story also? Wait. Is this a real story also, bro? I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, let me see the comments. The comments probably know the story. His jersey is looking cool. All right, let me see.
The garbage ball still in his bag, and I was sure they'd send him home, but they kept him. And for 5 years, all I heard from him were postcards. Until one night, my phone lit up in the dark, and he could barely speak. Baba, I made the national team, and we're going to the World Cup. And 3 weeks later, I sat in a stadium of 80,000 strangers with the cracked badge of our village on my chest. The teams walked out under the lights, and I found my son in the line, the flag on his chest. Before the whistle, he jogged to the sideline and pulled a ball of garbage out of his kit bag. He dropped it onto his foot and juggled it, once, twice, in front of the whole world. The boy who promised to buy me whatever I wanted pressed that ball of garbage to his chest, pointed it up at me, and I came apart in a stadium full of strangers. I handed my son a ball.
Yo. This looks like the story of the legendary Peel. Really? The legendary Peel? I don't understand football like that. Or I don't watch any sports actually, so I'm not entirely sure how cool that is or who that is, but I'm assuming that is insane. That's a crazy story though.
When I visited my dad in the hospital, I found him sprinting laps around his bed, arms in the air. I started laughing. Dad, what's going on? The last time I visited you, you could barely move. He spun around with a grin and pointed 2 finger guns at me. Don't look so worried, kid. Your old man finally found something to live for, and now I feel better. I shook my head because a man with stage 4 liver cancer doesn't just feel better overnight. What was going on? 2 days later, I found him hanging off the patient lift bar, doing pull-ups, his IV line taped up to the ceiling. My jaw dropped to the floor. A man that sick shouldn't have had the strength. The man that he shared the room with started laughing. He looked even sicker than my dad, but my dad dropped down, took his hand, and the two of them waltzed between the beds, spinning each other under the light.
That's gotta be drugs. That's gotta be drugs. That's gotta be some type of drugs, because how you moving like that when you got, yo, what?
I looked at their IV drips to see if the nurses were adding anything to make them act this way, but it was all clear. The old guy grinned at me over my dad's shoulder. He leads better than my wife ever did. My dad spun him out. Easy, Walt. Watching them turn, I saw a corner of red poking out from under the man's mattress. So while they were still spinning, I sneaked over and pulled it out. A red rubber hot water bottle, warm in my hands. I unscrewed the cap, and as soon as I smelled it, I gagged. It was the strongest whiskey I'd ever seen. Those two idiots had been working together to sneak in alcohol into their hospital room. My dad stopped mid-step, but his friend kept swaying. My daughter tops it up. Doctor said no fluids after 8, but he never banned a nightcap. My dad watched my face and chuckled. Told you I found something to live for, son. So I took a swig myself, handed it back to his friend, and pulled my dad in for the next dance. He gasped, and I laughed. Don't look so worried, old man.
What type of story Yo, what the heck? Yo, this is the first time. This is legit the first time that I think I've ever watched like done a reaction video and like was quiet the majority, like basically the whole time. This is the first time, like literally, if you guys look at any of my other videos where I'm like reacting to something, I'm always pausing the video and stopping it and like talking. But like, I think this is the first time I'm actually watching all the way. I can understand why my boy is hitting right now because his videos are actually really good.
When the bell rang at the end of my first day working at the daycare, I felt incredibly proud of myself. But when the parents lined up to pick up their kids, one of the mothers saw me and immediately marched over. She loudly demanded to know why a grown man would want to work around children. The other parents turned, and I felt a hitch in my throat, but I stayed calm and told her the truth. My daughter passed away, ma'am. She would have been the same age as the kids in this class. Being around them helps me feel close to her. I expected her to understand, but her face didn't soften, and she jabbed her finger in my chest. Well, that's even weirder, using innocent children as grief support. My blood ran cold as everyone around me stared, and I tried not to let it affect me. But the next day, the same mom stormed in while I was mid-lesson. Her husband stood behind her in his cop uniform, and they marched to my desk. He demanded I step away so he could search my computer. He began flicking through it, and one of the kids asked me, "Why are they searching your computer?" The woman answered, "Because he might be a bad man." I felt my legs buckling, and when I looked over, the daycare owner was in the doorway. I stood frozen as the cop went through my entire laptop, scrolling pictures of my dead daughter, clearly looking for something incriminating. After finding nothing, he slammed my laptop shut so hard, I heard a crack. At the end of the day, the owner called me into her office. She said, "A parent is uncomfortable with you being here. I know you didn't do anything wrong, but cops getting involved is a terrible look for the daycare. I'm going to have to let you go." I was in disbelief and stood up with shaking legs. I packed my things and placed the framed photo of my daughter in the box. And as I walked through the lobby, I saw the same mom there. She was smirking with her arms crossed.
Oh, heck no. Where's part 2? Where the heck is part 2? There better be a part 2. You got me messed. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. The next scene had so much blood and violence we had to cut it off with. Some people are really like that woman, by the way. The woman got survival instincts of a flying peanut combined with poop. Yo, what? Make a part 2. No, I need the part 2. I need the part 2. Because there's no way you mean to tell me you just lost your job off of that. This stupid lady.
I sat in the truck with my hand on the door, trying to figure out how to tell my dad I wanted to quit swimming. He turned the engine off and reached into the bag between us. "Eat up. We've got a few minutes," he said, and put a breakfast sandwich in my hand. "You know I went to state in the 100 fly at your age?" He nodded toward the building. 42 seconds. My name's still on the wall in there. He'd driven me to this pool at 5 every morning since I was 6, and he said the same thing every drive, that these mornings were the best part of his day. And here I was, about to take them away from him. The words were sitting right there in my throat, but when I opened my mouth, nothing came out. I just held the sandwich, still wrapped, the way I'd held everyone for months, my hands smelling like chlorine I couldn't scrub off. "You're quiet," he said. "Nervous about regionals?" "Yeah," I said, and stared out the window. We walked in together.
No, okay. I think I realize his channel. I understand it now. I understand it. Okay, the first video we saw, which was his oldest video. No, not even. His whole channel so far is an emotional based channel. All right, it's feeding off of emotions, and it's working. It's working. I see you, his story. I know what game you are. I know what kind of man you are, my G.
Up to his usual spot in the bleachers. Coach lined us up for the 100 fly, my dad's old race, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught him leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. I pushed off the wall soft and barely kicked, and by the first turn, the kid in the next lane was already half a body ahead of me. "What are you doing out there? Move!" Coach yelled, but I didn't go any faster. When I came up for air, I caught my dad in the stands, and he wasn't watching the clock or the other swimmers. He was watching me, leaning forward, like he was starting to realize something was wrong. I hit the wall last, and instead of pushing off for the next lap, I just hung there on the lane rope and let the heat go without me. Coach blew his whistle, and up in the stands, my dad was already on his feet. Afterwards, we sat in the truck, and he didn't start the engine. He handed me my water and watched me not drink it. "Why do you look like that?" he asked. I set the bottle down in my lap. "I don't want to swim anymore, Dad. I haven't for a long time." He got quiet and stared out the windshield. "Is that what's been eating you?" I nodded, and the rest came out in a rush. "I didn't want to let you down. I know how much this means to you." He laughed laughed, not in a mean way. Buddy, I don't care about the swimming. I never did. He put the truck in reverse, then put it back in park. You think I get up at 5 for the ribbons? I do it for the drives, the sandwiches, 20 quiet minutes with you before the world's even awake. He turned to me. We can quit the team tomorrow and keep the mornings. I picked up my sandwich and finally unwrapped it, and I never swam another race after that morning, and damn, that sandwich was good. I sat—
I'm telling you, he's an emotional type of YouTuber. I peep your game and you know what? I'm subscribing. You sold me. You sold me, my guy. Yo, I see you and I respect it. Because I love it. His videos are really good. And the fact that he's posting 10 times a day.
Me and my mom were scuba diving when a blue fish came up to me and flicked its tail like it wanted me to follow it.
Nah, this Finding Nemo right here. This is a Finding Nemo story. Nah, this Finding Nemo.
So I left the tourist group and went after it to see what it wanted to show me. It led me down past a wall of coral that opened up like a city, purple fans and orange tubes glowing. A shadow slid over me and I froze. A dolphin glided down beside the fish and slid under me, so I grabbed its fin and it carried me deeper into the dark, and the blue fish followed us the whole time. It slowed over a patch of empty sand where dozens of fish lay still. The blue fish swam around them in a circle extremely quickly, like it was waiting for me to swim down and pick one up. I swam down and reached for one with trembling hands. But when I held it, it didn't feel like a fish. It was hard, like a toy. And when I turned it over, a seam ran down its belly, stamped with tiny letters and a number. I pried it open, and behind the eye was a glass lens, and a red light blinked back at me. It was a camera. I held it up to show the blue fish. It flicked its tail and turned for the dark, like there was more to see. I was just about to follow when a hand closed on my arm and yanked me back. Mom dragged me up and tore my mask off the second we reached the surface. I was worried sick. You do not swim off like that, ever. I tried to tell her about the fish, but my hands were empty and I knew she wouldn't believe me. The next day I tried to convince my mom to go back and book another scuba dive, but the shop was shut, the boat's gone, the number on the door was crossed out in red. Now when I get in the ocean, I watch the fish to see if any will flick its tail again, and I can't tell which ones are watching me back.
What the heck? What the? Yo, this is crazy.
I set down the watering can and looked around at my girlfriend's 18 plants, proud I'd kept them alive while she was away. But then she opened the door and dropped her suitcase in horror. What the hell did you do? She gripped her head and sprinted to one of her plants, crouching beside it. I looked closely and realized one of the leaves at the bottom was slightly greener than the rest. I asked why that's a problem, but she immediately began throwing my clothes at me. We're done. How could you let that leaf be more green? Her eyes filled with tears, and I stopped laughing when the plate smashed against the wall near my head. I told her I can just buy her a new plant, but she slammed her hands on the counter. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard you say. Snot dripped from her nose as she called my mother. Your son just destroyed my life forever. Please come get him. I was in disbelief and pointed at the 17 other perfect plants, asking why she's focused on the one slightly greener leaf and not the hundreds of perfect ones. But she was already on her knees, rubbing the leaf, whispering to it, "We're gonna sue him for this. He's gonna pay."
What?
Suddenly the door opened and my mom walked in. She saw my girlfriend talking to the plant in tears and asked, "What's going on?" I explained everything. My girlfriend wanted to sue me over a plant, and my mom looked at her like she's lost it. That's when my girlfriend stood up and slammed her hands on the counter. It's not just a plant. She explained that this plant was a variegated Philodendron spiritus sancti, a rare and exotic plant she'd grown for 3 years, tracking the water, light, and temperature every day. I had a collector lined up ready to pay $40,000 for it. I would have paid off my student loans. She sobbed into the plant's soil. One imperfect leaf is all it takes for the buyer to walk. I looked at her crying, then shrugged. That's crazy, but you could have just said that before leaving me alone with it.
Whoa! Is that true? Hold on. What? Pause. Do plants actually go for that much? I've never heard. What? Hold on. Wait. Do people actually buy plants for upwards 6 figures? Hey! Yes, while it's extremely rare, people really do pay 6 figures and occasionally even 7 for plants. What? Okay. Shinzing Nogi Nongiki Orchid. What? That's a plant? That's a plant? Hold on. Often reported. What the heck is that? That looks nice though. What? Okay, wait. Often reported as the most expensive plant ever sold. A specimen reportedly sold for around 200,000 at auction. Its value came from being extremely difficult to breed, taking years to develop. What? 200,000? Yo, how do I Wait, where he's from? The Xinjiang, no, okay, orchid developed by agriculture researchers in Xinjiang, China after years of selective breed. Yo, we gotta go to China, chat. We gotta go to China. We got some money to make. What do you mean? What do you mean 200,000? Yo, chat, we got money to make. We got money to make. 200,000. Y'all sitting here. We supposed to be in China collecting leaves. What the?
While me and my daughter were hiking up a hill, it was getting dark, so I crouched down to her level and said, "Honey, there's only one rule I want you to follow. Don't let go of my hand, no matter what." Annalise nodded and pointed at the full moon. "Okay, Dad."
I don't like where this is going. I looked at this title. It said my daughter vanished. I don't like where this is going.
"Daddy, but you have to chillax. You don't need to be so worried all the time. Look at the sky." I chuckled and took my camera out of my bag to take a photo. "Okay, honey, I guess you're right." But when I looked down, Annalise wasn't there anymore. I looked behind the nearest tree, thinking that she was just hiding. But when I saw she wasn't there, my heart instantly started pounding with adrenaline. "Annalise, where are you?" I looked down and saw footprints leading to the cave, so I followed the track marks. They led to a hole, and I knew she crawled through because her shoes were left on the ground outside. I instantly took off my backpack and crawled into the dark. I was halfway through a cave when I finally heard her crying. "Annalise, is that you?" But she didn't respond, and instead, I heard a low growl. I gasped because it sounded like she was being attacked by a pack of wolves. I crawled faster, and when I finally made it to the wide part of the cave, I braced myself for what I was about to see. I lifted my flashlight with a trembling hand, and that's when I saw her under the arch of a rock, half buried under a pile of wolves. The biggest wolf was curled around her back. A pack of wild wolves kept my 6-year-old daughter warm and protected all night, through the cold that should have killed her. I smiled because I thought this kind of thing only happened in movies, but when I went to poke her awake, one of the big wolves pinned me to the floor and bared his teeth at me. Annalise shot up and giggled. "It's okay, doggy. This is my daddy." Somehow, the wolf went still. She took my hand for the first time since she let go of it.
Snow White or something? What, she got magical animal powers? Like, what are you talking about? You talking to the animal? It's okay. Calm down. Who the heck she thinks she is? Bro, crawling in a massive cave? Man, crawling in that cave was not necessary.
"Daddy, can you go get your backpack and come back to take a photo of me with the doggies?" I looked behind her to see the wolves staring at me like I was lunch. "I think I'd rather take a photo of the sky, honey."
I wonder, like, obviously it seems fake, but I wonder if that's like possibly a real story. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, the story may be based on, the story may be based on real events, but all names, details, and identifying information have been changed and fictionalized. Any resemblance to real individuals is purely coincidental. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if this story is real. And the only reason why I say that is because some of the other stories that we've actually like watched from him just now, I've heard of them before. Like real life stories. Like I've heard of it being a real life story. It's just the way it was played or shown to me, it seemed so fake. But no, I've actually heard of some of these. So now I'm actually kind of curious. Is that real? And if so, is there a photo of that girl around those wolves? I don't know. I want to find out though. Anyways though, yeah, dude, his channel's actually goated. He posted again 8 minutes ago. What? Let me watch this.
I held out my arm to shake my girlfriend's mom's hand for the first time, and she looked my tattoos up and down and gasped. "You look like criminal, like the scary men in our neighborhood." My girlfriend Ike frowned. "Ma, stop. He's an ex-MMA fighter." I politely nodded because I was determined to make a good impression no matter what. Her dad finished locking up the front door with a deadbolt and then stepped in front of me like I was a wild animal. He pointed a finger at my girlfriend. "Me like last boy better." Ike crossed her arms in frustration. "Let's just sit down and eat." I took the last seat at the table, and that's when I heard gunshots outside. Ike put her hand on mine and whispered, "Don't worry, it's just a sketchy neighborhood. We hear it all the time." He waved a hand at me. "My Ike go to college. You end up in jail or dead. You take her down with you." I opened my mouth to tell him about how I have $1 million in savings from MMA fighting, but stopped when we heard the gun outside again. Suddenly, a bullet shot through the glass. Ike and her family immediately ducked under the table, and her mom was crying. "Why is this happening?" I clenched my fists and walked right up to—
Don't be a hero. Don't be a hero. Do not be a hero. Who's he feeling? I clenched my fist and walked straight up. Buddy, bringing your hands to a gunfight is not ideal. Who are you feeling like?
I got it. A man got ready to rush in, but I was already moving. I caught his wrist and slammed the gun loose against the frame.
Man, this some movie. Ooh.
He tried to swing at my cheekbone with his other hand, but I dodged it, took him to the floor, and choked him out the way 10 years of fighting taught me. Her mom crawled out from under the table, took the hand she wouldn't shake, and held it in both of hers. You protect our family from scary man. You good husband. Her dad nodded politely, still shaking with fear. Thank you, son.
Nah. Okay. All right. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Subscribe to his story, bro. His stuff is actually pretty peak. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Zach D Films may have some comp. I'm gonna be honest. But anyways, I'm out, guys. Bye.